Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom.
Shalom.
First off, when we say call hello,
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash.
I'm sending double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you, Akim, out there pushing the word, sincerity, and truth. This is GMS Dallas with another class session. And today we're just vibing a little bit, so I want you brothers to, give us grace. We're going to do this off the top of our heads. It's an idea that we're kind of thinking and mulling over. And we're just going to let the Spirit use us and go through some ideas. Currently we're in a time of tribulation. We're in a time of increasing threat. And, the different brothers, all of us are maybe in situations that don't seem good. It might seem for our peril. But the Most High has shown us through the scriptures many times that when our forefathers have been in different situations that might not have seemed good, that can actually turn out in the end for the benefit, not only for ourselves, but for the nation in general. We can use examples like Mordecai or the sister Esther, or just, different situations. But today what we're going to highlight is our forefather Joseph in the situation that he was in. And so we're going to go through that couple of situations that happened with him, highlight with some other scriptures. Somebody had that scripture in Job.
I got it.
Baba Kusha, pull that, and Lord willing, you Akim, edified.
It says, Job 8:8, it says, "For I inquire, I pray thee of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers."
It says acquiring of the age, and that's what we're going to do a little bit. We're going to read a story of Joseph, or a couple of stories of Joseph, and pull out of it mindset, pull out of it what we need in order to continue forth. In the book of Timothy, what was that? It's the First Timothy 3:16, where it talks about the scriptures were written for our learning, right? And so that's what we're doing right here today in this class session, okay? If you have not read the full story of Joseph and gone through the book of Genesis, I highly recommend it, because these stories are foundational to understanding what happens in the Gospels, okay?
I got a precept that backs up what I just read in Deuteronomy 4:32. It says, "For ask now of the days that are past, which were before thee, since the day that the Most High created man upon earth, and ask from the one side of heaven unto the other, whether there hath been any such thing as this great thing is, or hath been heard like it."
Right. So, we compare things right now. The scripture says there's nothing new under the sun. So the same trials and tribulations that happened with our forefathers, in like manner, we're going to have to experience and go through, okay? Right. So there's no better place to have an understanding of what you're going through currently. There's no better way to understand it more than to go back and read the scriptures that happened to your forefathers, right? Because some of you were them.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And you can receive it.
Yep.
All right, real quick. Romans 8:24. "For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it."
Yeah. Hope is energy. Hope is energy. Hope energizes present action. You understand it? You hope to smash a chick. It energizes your present action towards that chick. You understand what I'm saying? So if you hope for the kingdom, if you hope for salvation, you hope for victory, it energizes your present action in achieving it.
Right.
Okay? You have something, bro?
No, not right now.
All right, so I want to open up, if somebody can please read Genesis, the 37th chapter. We're just going to pull out points in this. We're not going to read the whole thing. Let's start Genesis 37 and start at 18.
It's the book of Genesis chapter 37, starting at verse 18. It says, and when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him.
Right, and so these are Joseph. This is the other brothers, the other tribes. Joseph is one of the brothers, and Jacob had a dream. He had a dream, and in that dream, what happened? Joseph was basically given favor within that dream, and so they didn't like that. And even Joseph himself had a dream. When you go back and read the story, I challenge you brothers to go back and read the story. We're not going to read the whole story. You go read the whole story. You grown, okay?
Yeah.
Read.
Verse 19, "And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh."
See, they're talking about the dream he had. Basically, there was a sun and the moon and the stars, right? And he was exalted above, right? Go ahead.
"Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say some evil beast has devoured him.
Can you imagine your brothers plotting on you? No, not your homies that you went to high school with. Your blood brothers conspiring behind your back, saying, "Hey, man, let's throw him in a pit. If he died, we'll just say something happened to him." Can you imagine that? Go ahead.
Continuing on the end of verse 20, it says, "And we shall see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again." And it came to pass when Joseph was coming to his brethren that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him.
Yeah, so he had got this coat of many colors. Keep reading.
And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water. And they sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels, bearing spiceries, and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him.
Boom. So basically, it came down to where they conspired, and they basically said, "We're going to sell him to the Ishmaelites."
Right.
Okay? We're going to sell him to slavery. Our brother. That's pretty messed up.
Hell yeah.
Would you be mad at your brother if they did that to you?
Man, that's like almost unforgivable.
Yeah. You get mad at your brother if he wear your t-shirt behind your back. Like, that's my shirt. Stop wearing my clothes, bro.
Right.
What about sending you into slavery? You know what I mean? You about to say something?
No, I'm just meditating, bro.
Go ahead.
Verse 27 again, it says, Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him. For he is our brother in our flesh, and his brethren were content. Then there passed by Midianites merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph unto Egypt.
So basically, ended up having a transaction. They sold him into slavery into Egypt. So now he goes from being top tier, youngest child of this family that's growing and prospering in this certain region of the earth, with their forefather, with their dad, Jacob, Israel, to now you cast into a pit. You done lost all your goods. You in slavery. Just like that. You went from balling to slavery. Imagine being a part owner of a multi-million-dollar corporation with your family. And in one day, you're in slavery. That's what happened. Jacob and his 12 sons had a multi-million-dollar enterprise that all of the sons were a part of. And like that, he went into slavery.
Yeah.
You have to picture it in your mind. You have to feel it in your spirit and understand, put yourself in that position so you can grasp what's happening right now and take the emotion of it, and so you can start to extract the spirituality that Joseph had. So for the way he moved later on in the story. Okay? What verse you in?
I just finished up verse 28. I was going to jump to chapter 30. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. So, okay, you can go back, all of you, if y'all want to, pause this lesson, go and read all of Genesis 35, 36, 37, and then you can come back to this portion. We're about to skip over to chapter 38, okay? Let's skip over. 39. But I want to even go down in the bottom of 39 to verse 19.
Verse 19?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because basically what happens is, when Joseph goes into captivity in Egypt, he gets put in a position to where he's deciphering dreams. He's noted as somebody worthy of something, and he gets put in a pretty good position.
He gets advanced.
Yep. On game, like the Egyptian Pharaoh, like, well, he's kind of, I need that guy. It's a good guy right there. But let's check what happens as the story goes down. Let's skip down to verse 19. Do you have a point?
Yeah, it's real quick. I was going to say it's very similar to Daniel when you think about it.
Very similar.
Almost the same thing.
Because if you remember the story of Daniel, and we could have used Daniel for this lesson as well, you know, but this one is more dramatic than Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Daniel, you got to remember what happened to Daniel. You know, I don't know if do you know what happened to Daniel? So what happened when the kingdom got split, Babylon comes and they take down basically the southern kingdom. Daniel and certain groups of boys were like of the upper echelon class. Those boys got taken into captivity and brought to Babylon and got taught the language of the Chaldeans. So they got groomed to be Hebrew Babylonian boys. They got Babylonian names. Basically, got taken to hardcore slavery. But you have to remember, up until that point, they were living the good life. No one thinks about the transition of lifestyle.
Right.
You see it in these movies where you have these little princes of these little you know, situations, and the town gets sacked, and then the conqueror comes and takes the little boys. Well, that's what happened to Daniel. You know, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were in that same class. Just taken and then groomed underneath the Babylonian authority. Well, Daniel ends up taking that situation and makes the best of it. And it comes out to be extremely powerful for the nation of Israel. And he goes on to make these writings, these prophecies that we read today. That's helping us navigate even unto this day. But what if Daniel was just mad? Right. When he was just a whole ass nigga? Yeah. None of us would be here, bro. You understand? So we're taking the same understanding, and think about Joseph. He's the youngest son of 12 sons, and your brothers conspired against you, send you into slavery to a heathen nation that you, like on the Matrix, you know what I mean? And now you here. But you make the best of it, then this happens.
So he got advanced, and then if I just made, he got advanced in Egypt like the elder was going into, but then it was a conspiracy between him and the Egyptian wife, that the wife pretty much conspired on him that he committed adultery. So he got cast. Now we're going to the scene where he was cast into prison because of a conspiracy that was false.
Right. So when Pharaoh's gone on business, Joseph is pretty much running the show. Well, the wife of Pharaoh is looking at Joseph like, you know? So she's trying to get it. And he like, nah, bro, you tripping. To the point to where she's grabbing onto him so much she rips his garment. Right? And so now a scene done got created, and she's just like, he tried to rape me.
Here's the evidence.
Here's the evidence.
Part of the garment.
Because I was trying to fight him off. Here's the evidence. So this is what happens to Joseph.
So this is Genesis chapter 39, verse 20. And Joseph's you said verse 19. Verse 19. And it came to pass when his master heard the words of his wife, which she had spake unto him, saying, after this manner did thy servant do, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master.
I want to make a quick point on this, class. If you're new here and you're listening to this, when we go out and we're speaking on the highways and byways, when we're doing class sessions, if everything that we're saying is going over your head, it's because you're not reading on your own. We're not going to come and babysit you to read the Bible. You should be going and reading these stories.
That's right.
You should know the stories of Judah, of all the trouble. Go read the Bible, man. Don't expect us to come and babysit you to do basic reading. We're going out here, we're prophesying, so there's a level of expectation in the tone that we're speaking in. We can't sit and babysit you when we're out on the highways and byways. Like, I don't know what y'all talking about when y'all out there. The reason why you don't know what we're talking about is because you're not reading. So when we taking these snippets, you need to be going back and reading the whole thing.
That's right.
The first year that I came into the truth, I read the Bible 3 times over. The whole thing, including the Apocrypha. I read it and I read it again and I read it again. Go and read. Okay? So that's just a point. This is a class session, so we can do that. Go ahead.
This is verse 20. It says, and Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound. And he was there in the prison. But Yahweh was with Joseph. All right, so you think about it, man. There's gonna be situations where you might lose your job. There might be a situation where things escalate in this time period. You might be detained.
Yeah, facts. Yep.
You need to know that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is with you. You need to move with that expectation, like your forefather Joseph did.
Yep.
All right, read.
God, verse 21. But Yahweh was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison.
And the apostles have that testimony. It's funny that we're during the time of 9/11. Any of you brothers have known the stories of the apostles. Whenever 9/11 went down, the apostles ended up getting arrested and sent into prison. But favor was shown unto them while they was locked up. They was in there teaching. The Spirit of the Lord was with them. Ended up getting a lawyer that the Spirit was put on them to get a so-called Jew. And things just worked out. You know?
Lawsuit and everything.
But it didn't look good. It was like when you go and listen to actually what happened, it was just like they were coming down on the apostles and elders. It wasn't a good look. It was, this is when 9/11 happened. And it's just, so, we're on the 20th anniversary of that. But it's a testimony. Now, 20 years later, we are here because of that work that they continue to do. Call hello, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? And so that's another example of, hey, a situation might not look good, but the Most High is taking you through that for something bigger, better, and greater. Okay? Let's keep reading.
Can I get pulled?
Absolutely, man. Anytime, if y'all got precepts, pull them.
This is Psalm 105. I'm going to start at verse 17 and read down to verse 19. This is kind of where we at, right? It says, He sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant, whose feet they hurt with fetters. He was laid in iron until the time that his word came. The word of Yahweh tried him. The king sent and loosed him, even the ruler of the people, and let him go free.
Woo! Beautiful. You make a point?
This is kind of going through the timeline of the reason that the provision that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai puts forth. He'll put particular scenarios and situations intact, right? But when you look down the line in the dispensation of time, it's all for the greater purpose at the end of the day. The scripture says in the book of Romans, it says all things work together for the good of them who are called according to his purpose. Right. Mm-hmm. See, so even when the scenario situation could look grim, it could look bad, it's always trusting and knowing that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that he is, at the end of the day. He's the one that puts you in that scenario situation to test out for his word to try you. Right. The scripture says that you have been chosen in the furnace of adversity. That's right.
I actually got a quick one.
Yeah.
This is Psalms chapter 116, verse 15. We'll start at 15. The point is at 16. It says, "Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints." All right. Now, it might not necessarily all the time meaning physical death. Because one thing to remember is, we die all the day long. Because we're kind of the sheep appointed for the meat. So the Lord finds our tribulations and what we go through precious in his eyes. Okay? Verse 16 says this, "O Lord, truly I am thy servant. I am thy servant and the son of thine handmaid. Thou hast loosed my bonds." And you brought up the example of us getting cast into prison possibly. You used the example of Daniel earlier. He got thrown in the lion's den. We're going into Joseph right now. And the final end-all product of his faith was he was loosed and raised up in a higher position afterwards. Mm-hmm. So whatever the situation might be, how grim it might look at the end of the day, we keep our faith. The Lord's going to break them bonds loose. Look at Peter when he was in jail. The angel smote him and them chains just fell. Walked right out of prison. That was it on that precept, y'all.
Jumping back to Genesis chapter 39, verse 22. It says, "And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison. And whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because Yahweh was with him, and that which he did, Yahweh made it to prosper."
Boom. So now you're in a situation where you got put into captivity. You get raised up within that captivity. Then you get cast into prison. You get raised up inside the prison. Like, you become the boss of the bosses in the prison.
Yeah.
Right? And you have this crazy relationship with the keeper of the prison. He looks to you, he loves you. Y'all develop this bond. So everything that seems bad is turning out to be good. You don't think that can happen to you?
Right.
You don't have that mindset when bad things are happening to you? What is your mindset when bad things are happening to you? What is your expectation? Brothers all here have situations and stories. And I've heard of something that they thought was bad turning out to be good. Something they thought was like evil unto them. And it ended up, man, I got blessed out of that situation. How much more so for the times that we're coming into?
That's right.
You got to have the right mindset. You have to have the right expectation. It's extremely important because when you start to have, in the book of Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, it talks about godly sorrow versus worldly sorrow. Right? Godly sorrow, a mindset of repentance and getting closer to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And then this worldly sorrow with this mindset of loss, lack mentality that leads you to missing out on opportunities that are right in front of you. Joseph was taking advantage of opportunities that came in front of him, no matter how bad the situation got. Because you could have, what if Joseph was just been, kill Judah when I see him.
Yeah, right.
Oh, this nigga Benjamin.
Reuben the one led the play. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Can't believe they did this to me. Can't believe it. What if Joseph had that mindset?
Man, would have been, yeah.
If you were watching TV today, and he would have been justified. We'd have been rooting for Joseph. Like, yeah, when you get up, Joseph, we gonna get them back, man. You know what I mean? On my mama.
Right.
On my daddy Jacob, I'm gonna get them back. Right? All these situations is happening to him, but it's ending up for his good. Okay?
I gotta
bring him.
This is Proverbs 16:7. It says, "When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him."
Come on, champ.
So that's just backing up what you read in 39. You keep her in prison. When you please the Lord can just prepare a lane to where your enemy's gonna be at peace. You'll get favor, just like Joseph received. You know what I'm saying?
Man. That's right.
So we gotta have that mindset going into these times that we know that it's us against this world. But if we're doing what the Lord has to commit it unto us, the Lord is gonna open up paths where even if it seems like our back is totally against the wall, there's gonna be a way, an escape passage, so to speak.
You see? All right. So in this, bro, look at your own daily life. And this is what we tell brothers, man. Even like at your job, the places that you're at, like the things that you're learning should improve your life. And when we talk about life is relationships. I want you to understand this and grow up. Life is relationships. Your relationship with yourself. First, your relationship with Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Your relationship with yourself. Your relationship with other people. Your relationship with food. Your relationship with everything you deal with. The Bible is teaching you how to have a better partnership, relationship with everything around you. And people feel it. Joseph, everybody that was around him was like, we need you around.
Everybody.
So what if you get sent to a concentration camp? What energy are you going to bring into that camp? That's something to think about. Are you going to go into negative nanny mode? Or are you going to be on high? Or are you going to be within joy? Or are you going to know? Most High can pull me out of this whenever you want me to.
Right.
Okay? What you got?
This is Job 22, starting verse 28. It says, "Thou shalt also create things, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy ways. When men are cast down, then thou shalt say, there is a lifting up, and he shall save the humble person.
Mm.
Like
Woo!
That's a good one.
And he shall save the humble person. You gonna make the point?
Hey, like you said, when he brought low, like he was cast into prison, and like you said, his lifestyle prior was good.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going like on a seesaw, and that was basically driving me mad. Like like you just mentioned, you be I want to see my brother. Look what I'm going through. But yet he stayed humble. Like you say, everywhere he went, his light shined. He basically got in with the prison keeper. Got in good with him. This is what we're gonna read how he's gonna progress and get back into the good, the good graces of the king, with the great, and going on.
Yep.
I got a precept.
Come on, champ.
This is the book. I'm gonna read the King James version, and I'm gonna read the NLT afterwards.
I believe in you, champ.
It says Luke 16:9, and I say unto you, make yourselves friends of mammon of unrighteousness.
That's a good one.
That's what Joseph did.
Yeah, he's from.
This is on Luke 16:9. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. That when ye fall, they may receive you into everlasting habitations. And that's exactly what happened with Joseph. He was in that low state in prison, but he got raised up to be the second in command in the whole nation of Egypt. Now this is the NLT version. Luke 16:9. Here's a lesson. Use your worldly resources to benefit others and make friends. Then when your earthly possessions are gone, they will welcome you to eternal homes.
Man, relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Networking.
That's right.
Eternal homes. So all of these things, happen. You know what I mean? Where you at?
Genesis. I just finished up the chapter 39. Now chapter 40. I was just gonna.
No, skip to 41 and 14.
Okay, because I was gonna just give like a brief summary of 40, but
Go ahead, give the brief summary.
Well, pretty
Read
much-
41 and 14.
kind of. So pretty much in chapter 40, Joseph is interpreting dreams. So Pharaoh has this dream that there's going to be a famine, for lack of better words. Well, he didn't know that. He seemed like the chiefs. So Joseph interpreted that. Okay, look, there's going to be a famine. So you got to get your bread up for 7 years, and after that, we gonna be good. So eventually, after that point, the word came to pass of what Joseph had a dream about, and it pretty much saved Egypt.
You know what? Just because you did that, we're going to skip everything. It's going to be on to you who listening to this lesson. You go read it. We're not finna sit up here and read all that. We're going to skip to 50
Okay.
and get to the point. So basically what the brother Tazamah, priest Tazamah is talking about is Joseph ends up interpreting this dream of this famine. And Pharaoh's looking for somebody to interpret it.
Yeah.
And people are trying to interpret it, they can't interpret it, but Joseph ends up interpreting the dream, and then he not only interprets it, he gives him an action plan of what to do.
What to do? Exactly.
Look, these next 7 years, you need to be stocking up.
Yep.
Because there's going to be all these years of nothing. So it ends up to where there's this huge drought, famine that happens. And all the nations that are around about don't have nothing. So they have to come to Egypt to borrow food, provision, everything like that. And it just makes the Egyptian empire just ball. And Joseph is at the helm of who gets this, who gets that, who's going to help. Well, who's a part of that famine?
His brothers.
They gotta
So
come right back to
Israel and his sons, man, we got to go to Egypt to borrow. We through. So all the things that had happened up to that time, and now they having to come to Egypt, and they don't even recognize Joseph. They forgot. You know what I mean? Because Joseph probably got Egyptian garb on. He's speaking perfect Egyptian language.
Balling.
You know what I mean? Rings on his finger, man. Looking right. You know what I mean?
He got his necklace shining.
Yeah.
He was shining.
Right? But Joseph, he know who they are.
If I may throw a side note, and that's another precept, pretty much a precept that you can use to prove that Israel is not no white nation, no nation of lacking of pigmentation.
Exactly.
He looked like an Egyptian. Now that's why Esau tried to say that he the Egyptians too. But we all know that the original Egyptians were melanated people.
That's right, bro.
When Jacob died, the Egyptians was like, where is this great mourning for these Egyptians? Because of course it was dark skinned people. But you said go to Genesis 41 and 50. You said
No, go to 50.
Genesis chapter 50?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Oh, I think I know you're talking about. Where it
like
says,
verse 16.
Yeah, okay, yep. 'Cause, yeah, that's one of my favorite verses, verse 20. Okay, so this is Genesis chapter 50.
So imagine all of these things that happened. All these years have passed. Your brother sent you into slavery. You go into prison. You fighting. You doing all this. You raise yourself back up, and now you're in a situation where the people that sent you into this position made you go through all the years of this BS. Now they're before you.
Humble.
Don't know who you are.
They don't even know. You looking at them, and you just inside. It could be just like, you motherfucker. You mother. Everything I knew you took from me.
Yeah. That feeling's probably there for a second.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be, but you know what I mean. I'm just expressing it just
Yeah.
to give the all around feeling of it, man.
Yeah, straight up.
But because Joseph didn't have that feeling when you read it.
Mm-hmm.
And he even, I ain't gonna say played with him, but he even took him in, like imprisoned him as spies. He was like, oh yeah, y'all trying to spy out the land? He imprisoned them for a little bit, but he knew who they was.
He just wanted to be around his brother.
Exactly. That's all it was. Exactly.
You gotta go read the story if you haven't read the
Asking
story.
questions, trying to figure out what had happened.
Young brothers, if you haven't read the story, you have to go read it. It's so dope. So dope.
Yeah.
And it really gives a mindset of what we have to have coming into what we're coming into.
Straight up.
Okay? I really implore you, if you haven't read the story, if you haven't read the whole thing, go read it. And go and take your time reading it. Soak it up. It's a really dope story. Really good mindset. But we're skipping around for the sake of time, okay?
Right. All right, so this is Genesis chapter 50. You might start verse 14.
You start where you think you should.
All right, it says, and Joseph returned into Egypt, he and his brethren, and all that went up with him to bury his father, after he had buried his father. And when Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, they said, Joseph will peradventure hate us, and will certainly requite us all the evil which we did unto him.
Because basically, you done missed out on your whole father's life.
Yeah.
They, you know, you didn't get the chance. Bro, Israel loved Joseph.
That was his favorite.
It was his favorite.
Made it
They
that
got him the
coat.
coat. Yeah, they put on the coat.
You know, that's why, you know.
Hey,
Go ahead.
It says,
My baby boy.
Yeah.
Baby young, right?
Yep. It says, because at the end he said he had Benjamin, but Benjamin was, you know, when Joseph seen Benjamin, he was like, oh, snap, you know what I'm saying, my little brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you gotta read the story.
You gotta go read the
you gotta
story.
read the story. Yeah.
Verse 16 it says, and they sent a messenger unto Joseph, saying, thy father did command before he died, saying, so shall ye say unto Joseph, forgive, I pray thee now, the trespass of thy brethren, and their sin. For they did unto thee evil, and now we pray thee, forgive the trespass of thy servants, of the servants of thy power, of thy father. And Joseph wept when they spake unto him. And his brethren also went and fell down before his face, and they said, behold, we be thy servants.
Hey, if I may, that was the fulfillment of that dream that he had.
That's right.
You know, when them stars came and gave oblation to him and everything, he said it, and the brothers got mad. You know what I'm saying? But that's what that represented right there.
And let you know, the Most High's word is not going to be broken.
That's right.
Because it was the sun and the moon and the stars, and those stars gave oblation to him. Well, that represented the sons giving oblation unto him. And now we're seeing this come full circle.
That's right.
You know?
Yep. They had to humble themselves even before coming to Joseph with the food. To get the food, they had to humble themselves like, you know, we through. Joseph over here, I looking at them, they spies. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, continue to do it. Verse 19, and Joseph said unto them, fear not, for am I in the place of the Most High? But as for you, ye thought evil against me.
As for you, you thought evil against me. Go ahead.
But the Most High meant it unto good.
But the Most High meant it unto good. There's going to be situations to where people are going to mean evil unto you, but the Most High means it unto good. And you walk in it. That person doesn't have no power over Yahweh Shem Yahweh.
That's right, bro.
There's situations that may be going on in your life where you think people are trying to bring evil unto you to bring you down. But the Most High is doing it unto your good. You have to be perceptive and walk in the Spirit. These people don't have no power. Yahweh Shem Yahushua has the power.
That's right.
And Joseph even understood that with his own blood brothers.
That's right.
So how much more when these heathens is coming up against us and all these type of things is happening, these other Israelite groups, whatever, they mean evil unto us, but Yahweh Shem Yahushua is bringing it to our good.
That's right.
People were saying we were rapists, saying this and saying that. We were conspiracy theories. We were cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. All this. And now, oh my gosh, they were right the whole time.
That's right.
Oh man, I'm leaving this camp. I'm leaving that camp. Now I want to go to Great Millstone Camp. I know. We knew. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
That's right. That's right.
All right?
I got a quick. This is Psalm 68 and 19. Blessed be the Lord, who daily loadeth us with benefits, even the God of our salvation, Selah. And he says daily. You got certain times where you don't know where the benefit is, but that benefit's there because it's a daily thing. That was a benefit that happened when he was going into slavery. Right. At that moment, it don't seem like it, but when it all circles back around, it was a huge benefit. You know, that was it on that.
Let's go, Champ.
I got it.
Come on, Champ.
This land back.
You look like you just retired from the heat. Oh shit, he got the heat jersey. That's what he said.
That's funny. So I can like.
You good. Precept land back on the point the Elder Ariala had just made. 2 Ezra 15:3. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
Yeah, don't let the unbelief of them that speak against you. Don't let that people unbelief turn you off from what you're supposed to do, bro.
Right.
They're gonna say you crazy about this bad, this the Kool-Aid. All these things are gonna start ramping up more and more and more.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't fear their incredulity. Don't fear none of it. It's gonna turn out for your good. Shapal, it's gonna turn out for your good, brother. All the hate, it's gonna turn out for your good. Walk with joy. And I see you walking with joy. Yeah, I love it. It's going to turn out for your good. You know, you, Matthew, it's going to turn out for your good. Just keep walking. Just keep walking. Okay? Anybody else got a precept?
I got it. This is the book of Acts chapter 3. Just another example of the provision, right? Acts chapter 3, verse 13. It said, the power of Abraham and of Isaac and of Jacob, the power of our fathers, had glorified his son Yahushua, whom ye delivered up and denied him in the presence of Pilate when he was determined to let him go. But ye denied the Holy One and the just, and desired a murderer to be granted unto you.
Barabbas.
And killed the Prince of Life, whom the Most High hath raised from the dead, whereof we are witnesses. And his name through faith, and his name through faith in his name hath made this man strong, whom ye see and know. Yea, the faith which is in him, the faith which is by him, hath given him this perfect soundness in the presence of you all. So the reason why I want to bring that out is because, you know, at the end of the day, when Yahushua was going through his persecution, when he went through the Garden of Gethsemane, he got lied on, he got betrayed by Judas, you know, he ultimately got put to death. All that had to happen. All that had to happen so that we have this knowledge today. It was all for the provision that the Heavenly Father had set forth for the nation of Israel all the way from the beginning. You know, him being the lamb slain from the foundation of the earth, all that had to take place and happen so that we could have what we have today.
That's right.
You know, so it's no different than, you know, it's no different than what Joseph went through. You know, and our forefathers went through particular purposes for their testimony for it to be read right now. The scripture says the things that are written aforetime are written for our learning. So we see these certain examples like, okay, well, our forefathers went through this. They did, when this scenario happened, this is what happened. You know, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego going into the fiery furnace, man. You know, it tells them that it says they walked into the furnace glorifying the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? And what happened?
Straight up.
They wasn't burned, man. The Lord was with them. You know, so I just want to bring it out. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I'll finish up verse 20 in Genesis 50. It says, but as for you, ye thought evil against me, but the Most High meant it unto good to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive.
Boom. So all of that happened. It was to save much people alive, and to save much people alive really centered around the nation of Israel.
Right.
Right? Because if Joseph would have held offense towards his brethren and he wasn't spiritual, he would have condemned his brethren because he had the power to do so, and the whole nation would have been ended. Just like that. But because he understood all of these things happen for a reason, and that the Most High brought him through that for a reason, he remained spiritual, and it was a continuation of the legacy of Yashar Allah. Because it could have ended that day. And Joseph had the power to say, I'm going to get my judgment right now. But he understood the bigger picture. And that's what's important. Do you understand the bigger picture of what you're going through? Are you reacting for your personal wants, or are you reacting for the bigger picture? Is the key. Certain things that might seem like an L could be a bigger W for the nation and for yourself. You have to maintain perspective. Okay? What y'all brothers got?
I got one.
Bring them.
Romans 12 and 17, it says, recompense to no man evil for evil, provide things honest in the sight of all men. Because if he had recompensed evil for evil, like the elder was going into, that could have been for the detriment of the whole nation. Just because he wanted to get revenge and just allow ego, you know, to overrule proper judgment in that situation. So that's the mindset we have to have, you know.
Man, just listening to this and just analyzing all of it, you know, it makes sense why Joseph had to spend so much time in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? And then he got glorified to that power, right? Well, it even makes me think about us in our low state right now. You know what I'm saying? We're in this low state, being humble, understanding, taking the lows and this, that, and the third, and then the Lord is going to glorify us. You know, but in this state, we meditate, we get better, we get sharper on things. And really, we meditate in understanding judgment and how to deal. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord is going to raise us up. Kind of has me think about this Joseph scenario.
Yeah, man. I pray, brothers. This is edifying. We're talking about things that might seem all over the place, but really the centerpiece of what we're trying to say is, hey, what does this mean to you in your life?
Right.
How can you take the things that we're reading that Joseph is doing and applying? Can you apply it to your life?
Right. Mercy. Yep. Having integrity, doing what's right, no matter the circumstantials, you know, of that right and honest decision, you know, knowing that the will of the Most High is going to prevail over everything. And that should prevail in your decision making.
Quickly, this is Psalms 25 and 17. It says, the trouble of my heart are large. O bring me out of my distresses. Look upon my afflictions and my pain, and forgive all my sins. And like say, when we saw Joseph going through those afflictions, we're going to be going through certain things, and we're going to basically, sometimes you have to step back and say, what do I need to do to correct for myself? You know, if you're going through certain distresses, you have to ask the Lord to walk with me. As we read, going back to Psalms about 23, it goes into what? You know, the Lord, He's restored my soul, and it goes into, you know, He walking with us. You know, roughly paraphrasing. So when we going, wherever we're going, if we having some enjoyment in our life, if we're going through some troubling times, the Lord is going to always be there.
Right.
We just can't forget about Him when we're enjoying ourselves. But then we're going in low times, He always has to be in our hearts.
Right.
So when we're going through these certain stresses, these certain situations, and it's going to get ugly, you know, out in the world, wherever we go through, as a nation or as an individual, we got to believe the Lord is going to be with us.
Right.
We're working out our own salvation.
Because it's His will in the first place.
Right, that's right.
The will of the Lord outweighs circumstantials that, you know, are going on at that time, you know. I got another quick one if we're done. Sirach 11 and 25, it says, in the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of affliction, there's no more remembrance of prosperity. Here's the point. It says, for it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. So you got to trust and believe. That's easy work to the Lord, to just deliver you and reward you out of a situation when it even seems like death is the only option. at that particular time. That's easy.
That magnifies the Lord's power.
Right.
That shows He wants to magnify His power. He
Right.
wants to show forth that He is at the end of the day. That's what the Lord wants to do.
Right.
I mean, and everything that we do, He shows forth that He is, but He glorifies Himself in His name by how He saves, how
Right.
He delivers in His power. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Add one real quick. 1 Peter 5, verse 6 and 7, it says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that He may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon Him, for He cares for you." So it's just humility at the end of the day, man. You know, if we just remain humble in the sight of Yahweh Shema Shah, remain humble amongst one another, you know, exalting, esteeming each brother better than yourself, and not having that high horse mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord looks at that and He's gonna. It says what He cares for you all the time, man.
Right.
He'll exalt you. You know.
I could say, you know, when Joseph, when he was in prison and told, you know, interpret those dreams, I think it's for the wine. One did the wine and for the other one, I can't recall, but you remember, actually, when they got left, one of them got hung, and
You talking about the baker?
The baker,
Yeah.
the one that do the
Baker,
wine.
the wine.
He got hung.
Yeah, and the wine person, he actually, if you read the story, he forgot about Joseph. So I think the dream, and he thought about it, and he was like, oh yeah. So Joseph, when he saw them, one got hung, one got let go, and got back to his duties, he probably like, damn, the Lord probably forgot about me.
Yeah.
But we out at a set appointed time.
Go read the story.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it because it's making. If you care, you'll go read the story. If you don't, we don't give a fuck about you. Go ahead.
That was the one.
This is Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble.
We're coming into the times to where you're going to be put in situations that our forefather Joseph went through.
Mm-hmm.
We call it Jacob's trouble. Now, how's that going to play out? I don't know. Do you? No. We're not worried about that. We're worried about how we respond spiritually.
Right.
That's the whole point of everything that we got going on right now. So there's going to be a time of Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is going to play out differently for different brothers.
Absolutely.
Everybody ain't going to go through the same thing. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't going to get beheaded. Everybody ain't going to be in a concentration camp. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yep.
You need to just focus on what mindset am I carrying into whatever situation.
Right.
Right? So now we're highlighting Jacob's trouble. What does it say?
It says, alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
But what's going to happen?
He shall be saved out of it.
But Jacob is going to be saved out of it. Are you a part of Jacob?
Absolutely.
All right then. What's your expectation? To be saved out of it, right? Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 8. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off his neck, and will burst thy bonds. And strangers shall no more serve themselves of him.
Boom. So the whole point of this is that we're going to be going through a time of extreme uncertainty. In like manner that's happened to our forefathers. We need to carry in a mindset of victory.
Absolutely.
And the expectation that Yahweh Shema Shah is going to bring us through.
That's right.
Right? That will dictate how we act. Are you going to act with a mindset of, oh man, I lost? Or are you going to react with a mindset of, you know, I know this is happening for a reason.
Right.
Let me make sure to be on point. Am I thinking clearly? Am I being defensive? Or am I being spiritual?
Right.
What's going on? You want to cultivate a mindset of spiritual thinking before being offended and defensive. Because when you act defensive, that justifies other people's offense.
Right.
When you get defensive with your girl, she gets offensive. I like to use that example. No, you said that. But when you like, you know, I'm cool, calm, and collected. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Then she has to step back because her offense isn't justified. So don't justify people's offense by being carnally defensive. Right? We want to make sure that we're moving cool, calm, collective.
Right.
It's a tight situation. It sucks. It's not fair. Most High ain't never said it's going to be fair.
He's in control.
Right? But the deal that you're getting is not fair. You're getting immortality. Right?
That's a good point.
So, this is what we're fighting for. This is the point of reading the story. I implore brothers to go and read it. Anybody else have precepts?
Just a quick one.
Yeah.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For the Most High hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Be not therefore, Salakia, be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me his prisoner, but be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of the Most High. All right, the key point was in verse 7. He's going into all the things that we have power in, love and of that sound mind. Not of, obviously, vengeance is coming, but we keep that mind that Joseph had, everything else going to follow through and come with it. You know what I'm saying? That's it on that precept.
Right, man. I saw Lord willing that was edifying, man. Hey, want to say call halal?
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash.
Once again, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you, Akim, out there pushing the word, sincerity, and truth. Study and grow. Love you, Akim. Shalom.
Shalom.